So we'll get started with the breathing. Spread your butt cheeks, make sure sitting bones are in contact with the earth and your pelvis is higher than your thighs. Okay, so if you run your palms straight across from your pelvis towards your knees, and if you find your knees are higher than this level of your palms, then it's a good idea to place a folded block or a blanket, a folded blanket or a block under your sitting bones to elevate your pelvis, okay, so that there's no lower back stress when you're sitting in the Sukhasana. Okay, spine straight, shoulders relaxed. Take a deep breath in, inflate your belly, push it out, breathe out slowly, very slowly. Push your belly button in, right in, as if it wants to touch your spine. Once again, take a deep breath in, inflate your belly, push it out, breathe out slowly, very slowly. Push your belly button in, right in. Take 6 breaths this way. When you breathe in, inflate your belly, push it out. When you breathe out slowly, very slowly. Push your belly button in, right in. Do the breathing in and out through your nose. Try to hear the sound of your own breathing. Experience when you're breathing so deeply with long exhalations. You're moving into a parasympathetic mode, which is a relaxed mode. It's the opposite of the sympathetic mode, which is the fight or flight mode. Whenever you have any stressful moments during the day, take the time to do this breathing. This kind of a breathing exercise or pranayam is called Darga Rechak. And the idea is to use your breath to control your mind. And when you slow down your breath with the long exhalations, you're trying to slow down the thoughts and the chattering of your mind so that you can get in touch with your consciousness. Because you are not your thoughts, you are not your mind, you are the consciousness. Now, keeping your spine straight, we're going to move into the Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, the alternate nostril breathing, which is another stress management technique that brings balance back into your body. So, using your right hand, bending the first 2 fingers to come to the Vishnu Mudra. Block your right nostril with your thumb. Keep your elbow away from your chest. Breathe in through your left nostril. On top of that inhalation, block your left nostril with your ring finger. Breathe out from the right. Breathe in from the right. Block your right. Breathe out from the left. Second round. Breathe in from the left. Block your left. Breathe out from the right. Breathe in from the right. Block your right. Breathe out from the left. Now 2 rounds on your own, starting breathing in from the left. your right side is your warm side, your left side is your cold side. It's balancing the warm and the cold energies in your body and bringing balance back into your body, and that's why it's good for relieving stress and anxiety. Now keeping your spine straight, breathe in, shoulders up, breathe out, bring them down. Once again, breathe in, up, breathe out, down, breathe in, breathe out. Last time, breathe in, breathe out. Now continue to keep your spine straight and rotate your shoulders. Breathe in and out when you're doing that. Then change the direction of the rotation. Come back to the center, spine straight. Place the opposite hand on the knee, the other hand goes around and behind. Breathe in, lengthen your spine. Lengthen all the way up to your head, raise your chest up, twist on your spine, look over your shoulder behind. Take a couple of breaths here. Breathe in. When you're exhaling, come back. Spine straight. Now twist around in the other direction, opposite hand on the knee, the other hand goes around and behind. Breathe in, lengthen your spine, lengthen all the way up through your head, raise your chest up, twist around on your spine, look over your shoulder behind. Enjoy the company of your breath here. Breathe in. When you're exhaling, come back. Spine straight. Now make an offering with your palms. Set an intention for this class. It could be any intention, some goodwill that you want to spread, some problem that you want to solve, some healing that you wish. It could be anything, okay? Dedicate this class with that intention. And rotate your palms around, your wrists around, your elbows. Take the action all the way up to your shoulders. Change the direction of the rotation. Now interlace your fingers together in front of you, round up your back, breathe in. When you're breathing out, lengthen through the crown of your head. Once again, breathe in, round up your back, breathe out, lengthen through the crown of your head. Last time, breathe in, breathe out. Now point your fingers up towards the sky, hinge forward from your hips, get your palms in front of you. Now walk with the tips of your fingers a little bit further down, lower your spine and your head both towards the earth. You can even place your palms on blocks if that's more comfortable for you, okay? Take a couple of breaths here. Breathe in, raise your hands up. When you're breathing out, bring your hands down. Now get onto your tippy toes. Rest your hips on your heels. Tips of your fingers can be on the floor or on blocks, or your palms can be close to your solar plexus. Take a couple of breaths here to be in this moment, in your body, in this balance of the Samavartanasana, or the North Indian tradition would call it the Upaveshasana. Then slowly move your hands out. Now stay on your tippy toes, and we're going to go up and down on our tippy toes, okay? Breathe in, slowly come up. Stay on your tippy toes. When you're breathing out, slowly go down. Once again, breathe in, slowly come up. Breathe out, slowly go down. Last time, breathe in, slowly come up. And when you're breathing out, rest your heels back onto the floor. Okay? So what you just did was very good for the health of your knees. And also you were just focused in the present moment. You were not thinking of your past, not thinking of your future. You were just living in the moment, in that balance. Okay? And that's also a stress management technique that extrapolates to the rest of your life. Very unconsciously it happens. Okay, so ground your feet firmly into the earth. Push your tailbone out, tuck your navel in. So you want to have this length in your spine. Okay? breathe in. Hands go up to the sky, side of your body stretch. Now interlace your fingers together, turn them inside out, and get onto your tippy toes and stretch. Stretch through the crown of your head, through your arms, stretch. Now breathe in, take a few steps forward on your tippy toes. When you're breathing out, get your toes off the floor and come back on your heels. Okay? Once again, breathe in, tippy toes forward. Breathe out, back onto your heels. Last time, breathe in, tippy toes forward. Breathe out, back on your heels. Okay, so this practice also helps to relieve migraines. Okay. Now, point your fingers up towards the sky. Hinge forward from your hips. Get your palms on either side of your 2 feet. You can bend your knees if you want to. Push your tailbone up towards the sky. Come halfway up, face up, chest up, breathe in. So the idea is to lengthen the spine rather than rounding up the back. Fold forward, breathe out. Once again, face up, chest up, breathe in. When you're breathing out, fold forward. Now place your palms directly in front of your feet. You can place them on blocks if that's more comfortable for you. So we're going to move into the Ekapadasana, one-legged pose here, okay? So breathe in, slowly raise your right leg up. Push down on your left leg, drop your head lower towards the earth, then push your head and your spine towards your left leg. And raise the right leg higher, higher, higher. So you want to raise that that right leg as high as you can, okay? You don't want to keep the right leg parallel to the floor because this asana is different from Virabhadra 3, the warrior 3 position which we'll do later, okay? So raise the right leg as high as you can and feel that stretch on your hamstrings. Breathe into it. Breathe into that stretch. Great. Then slowly come back. Breathe out. Now breathe in. Push down on your right leg and raise your left leg up. Drop your head lower towards the earth. Then push your head and your spine towards your right leg. And raise the left leg higher. Higher, higher. Raise the left leg as high as you can. And breathe into that stretch. Then slowly come back. Breathe out. Now slip your fingers under your toes or hold your ankles from behind, whatever works for your spine. Drop your head lower towards the earth. Then push your head and your spine towards your legs. You can bend your knees if you want to. That way you're protecting your lower back as long as you're pushing your tailbone up towards the sky. Take a few breaths here in this Uttanasana and experience the blood flowing into your brain here. Then move your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers together. Raise your hands higher and higher and higher. Drop your head lower and lower and lower. To do the shoulder stretch here in this Uttanasana. So raise your hands as high as you can. Drop your head as low as you can. And breathe. Don't hold your breath. Then open up your fingers, place your hands on your hips, elbows pointing up towards the ceiling. Slowly come up into the Tadasana, breathe out. Now we're going to move into our Chakrasana and Kati Chakrasana that are very therapeutic for the spine. So spread your feet as wide as the width of your mat. Keep them firmly grounded, parallel to each other. Push down on your feet, tuck your navel in and lengthen to the crown of your head. Now breathe in, expand your chest, expand your heart, look behind. Then hinge forward from your hips, fold forward. Breathe out. Once again, breathe in. Expand your chest, expand your heart, look behind. Fold forward. Breathe out. Last time, breathe in. Expand your chest, expand your heart, look behind. Fold forward. Breathe out. Now slowly come up. Raise your right hand up. Push down on your feet, tuck your navel in and lengthen through the crown of your head, through the tips of the fingers of your right hand. Now left hand moves down towards your left ankle, right arm stays close to your right ear, shoulder blades are moving towards each other. So you're not leaning forward, not leaning behind, okay? Look up at the ceiling from under your hand. Feel the stretch up your right side, breathe into it. Then slowly come back, breathe out. Raise your left hand up, push down on your feet, tuck your navel in, lengthen to the crown of your head through the tips of the fingers of your left hand. Right hand moves down towards your right ankle, left arm stays close to your left ear, shoulder blades are moving towards each other. Look up at the ceiling from under your hand, feel that stretch up your left side, breathe into it. Go as low as you can go with your right hand. Then slowly come back, breathe out. Hands in line with your shoulders. We are moving into a Kati Chakrasana. You want to ensure you don't change the position of your feet even when you twist down on your spine. Okay? They stay firmly grounded, parallel to each other. Breathe in, twist to your right, follow your right palm around, take it as far around and behind as you can and look at it. Come back, breathe out, breathe in, twist to your left, look at your left palm. Come back, breathe out, twist to your right. Come back, twist to your left. Come back, twist to your right. Come back, twist to your left. Come back. Now slowly come back into the Tadasana. And now we'll move into a Surya Namaskar Sun Salutations. Okay? And all the asana that we'll do today in our Surya Namaskar, you're going to have your pelvis parallel to the front edge of the mat. So ground your feet firmly into the earth, push your tailbone out, tuck your navel in, keep that length in your spine. Breathe in, hands go up to the sky, sides of your body stretch. Incline your spine if you want to. Then hinge forward from your hips with your heart leading the way. Get your palms on either side of your 2 feet. Bend your knees if you want to. Push your tailbone up towards the sky. Rest your palms in line with your feet. Right foot behind. Left side of your chest is resting on your left thigh. Be on your toes on your right foot. Refine this position by elevating the right thigh, pushing down to the right heel, moving your shoulders away from the ears, facing forward, spine is lengthened. Now breathe in. Slowly raise your left hand up. Left hand up. Look up at your left palm. Hug your legs to the midline. Don't let them flop to the side. Keep the right leg extended and breathe. Then slowly come back. Breathe in. Raise your torso. Expand your chest. Expand your heart with the grace that's around you. So your shoulder blades are moving towards each other. Then tuck your navel in and lengthen to the crown of your head. You can sink a little bit lower into your hips if you want to make this asana a little more stimulating, to melt the fat on your thighs and hips. But don't let go of your navel. And you have the option of resting the right knee on the mat. If you're not resting it on the mat, keep the right leg extended. Don't let it sag. So you engage your very first center of energy at the base of your spine, which is about your relationship with your environment, with your fellow human beings. It's about your physical and emotional security. When you tuck your navel in, you engage your second and third centers of energy, stimulating your passion, your creativity, also your digestion. And when you look up, you've also engaged your fifth center of energy at your throat, stimulating your communication. It makes you a good communicator from the heart. And get your palms in line with your foot in front. Now move your palms in front of your left foot. Place them on blocks if that's more comfortable for you. So we're going to move into Virabhadra 3, Warrior 3 position from here. Okay, breathe in. When you're exhaling, slowly raise your right leg up. Straighten out your left. Keep the back of the left leg soft. If it helps to keep your balance, palms are directly under your shoulders, on the floor, or on blocks, or you can get your hands off the floor if you like. The idea is to get your torso parallel to the floor, your right leg parallel to the floor. Point the toes of the right foot down so your hips stay square. Now imagine that wall behind your right foot. You're pushing against that wall and lengthening through the crown of your head in front. Take a few breaths here to be in this moment, in your body, in this balance. Not thinking of your past, not thinking of your future, just living in the moment, okay? It's a stress management technique. Beautiful. Then rest the right foot back onto the floor. Palms in line with your foot in front. Left foot in line with the right foot. So now we are moving into the plank position. Palms are directly under your shoulders. Heels are tucked above your toes. Tuck your tummy in. So you're with a straight back, strong core. You can look in the mirror and you want your hips at the optimum level. So you're not too high, not too low. You just want your spine parallel to the floor. Hold your breath. Come down in the Ashtanga Asana. Breathe out. Drop your knees to the floor. Chin, chest to the floor. Not your belly. Your hips are in the air. Palms are directly under your shoulders to give you that lift. Elbows are close to your torso. So touch your toes, touch your knees, touch your chest, touch your chin, not your belly. Ashtanga means 8. You're touching the floor in 8 points. Untuck your toes. Drop your belly to the floor. Front of all your toes in contact with the earth. Slowly come up into the Bhujangasana serpent position. Pubic bone is on the floor. That's why elbows are going to be bent. You want your elbows close to your torso. Tuck your navel in and length to the crown of your head. Look up and breathe in. Curl up your toes. Dog position. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Drop your head. Extend your tailbone to the back wall. Engage your thighs. Breathe in. Lunge forward with your left foot. In line with your palms. Right knee on the mat. Untuck the toes of your right foot. Slowly roll your hips. You want that foot in line with your palms. If it doesn't come, then use your hands to push it in front. But don't move your palms behind. Okay, otherwise your alignment is going to be wrong. Now roll your hips in front. Come into this Vanarasana monkey position or Ajnayasana low lunge position. Expand your chest, expand your heart to the grace that's around you. So shoulder blades are moving towards each other. Then tuck your navel in and lengthen to the ground of your head. Feel that stretch on your hip flexors. Breathe into it. And get your palms in line with your solar plexus. We're going to move into a spinal twist here. Breathe in. Upper right arm on the outside of your left knee or left thigh. Left shoulder moves behind to come in line with your right shoulder. Look at the left corner of your left elbow and in that direction up towards the ceiling. And breathe. Breathe into the spinal twist happening on your thoracic spine, stimulating your second and third centers of energy. So stimulating your passion, your creativity, also your digestion. And get your palms in line with your foot in front. Curl up the toes of your right foot. Raise your right knee off the floor. Right foot in line with the left foot. Breathe out. Drop your head. Push towards your knees. Once again, Uttanasana. Breathe in. Hands go up to the sky. Side of your body stretch. Incline your spine if you want to. Come back into the Tadasana. Breathe out. Feel your heartbeat. So that was one Surya Namaskar. We'll do one more, repeating the same sequence. This time it will be on the right side. So ground your feet firmly into the earth. Push your tailbone out. Tuck your navel in. Breathe in. Hands go up to the sky. Side of your body stretch. Incline your spine if you want to. Then hinge forward from your hips with your heart leading the way. Get your palms on either side of your 2 feet. Bend your knees if you want to. Push your tailbone up towards the sky. Rest your palms in line with your feet. Left foot behind. Right side of your chest resting on your right thigh. Be on your toes on your left foot. Refine this position by elevating the left thigh, pushing down to the left heel, moving your shoulders away from your ears. If you look in the mirror, your spine is lengthened rather than your back being rounded. Now breathe in. Slowly raise your right hand up. Look up at your right palm. Hug your legs to the midline. Don't let them flop to the side. Keep the left leg extended and breathe. Then slowly come back. Breathe in. Raise your torso, expand your chest, expand your heart to the grace that's around you. Shoulder blades are moving towards each other. Tuck your navel in and lengthen to the crown of your head. You can sink a little bit lower into your hips if you like to make this asana a little more stimulating. Don't let go of your navel. So you engage your first center of energy at the base of your spine, your second and third around your navel when you're tucked in your navel, and your fifth center of energy when you look up, okay, at your throat. Now feel that strength in your back leg, in your left leg. Now
push down on your feet. The more you push down on your feet, the more you can elevate through the crown of your head. So the more well-grounded you are in your lower centers of energy, with your first, second and third centers of energy, the more you can elevate yourself through your fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh centers of energy. Breathe. And get your palms in line with your foot in front. Now move your palms in front of your right foot. Place them on blocks if that's more comfortable. So we are moving into Virabhadra 3 Warrior 3 position. Breathe in. When you're exhaling, slowly raise your left leg up. Straighten out your right. Keep the back of the right leg soft if it helps to keep your balance. Palms are directly under your shoulders, on the floor or on blocks, or you can get your hands off the floor. Try keeping your torso parallel to the floor, your left leg parallel to the floor, and point the toes of the left foot down so your hips stay square. So this asana is different from that Ekapada which we did earlier, okay? There you wanted to raise your leg as high as you can. Here you want to keep the left leg parallel to the floor. Imagine that wall behind your left foot, you're pushing against that wall and lengthening through the crown of your head in front. Take a few breaths here to be in this moment, in your body, in this balance. You can stay focused on a point and your breathing. Make this a meditation in action. That's great. Left foot back onto the mat. Palms in line with your foot in front. Right foot in line with the left foot. So now we are moving into the plank position. Palms are directly under your shoulders. Heels are tucked above your toes. Tuck your tummy in, straight back, strong core. Hold your breath. Come down in the Ashtangasana. Breathe out. Drop your knees to the floor, chin, chest to the floor, not your belly. Palms are directly under your shoulders. So get your palms under your shoulders so you get the lift. Elbows are close to your torso. Yeah, so get your belly off the floor. Push down on your knees and get your belly off the floor. Good. Untuck your toes. Drop your belly to the floor. Front of all your toes in contact with the earth. Slowly come up into the Bhujangasana serpent position. Pubic bone is on the floor. Shoulders move away from your shoulder blades. Go down onto your upper back. Look up and breathe in. Curl up your toes. Dog position. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Drop your head. Extend your tailbone to the back wall. Engage your thighs. Breathe in. Lunge forward with your right foot in line with your palms. So if it doesn't come in line with your palms, use your hands and push that foot in front, okay? Left knee on the mat. Untuck the toes of your left foot. Slowly roll your hips in front. Come into the Vanarasana monkey position or Arjunasana low lunge position. Expand your chest, expand your heart to the grace that's around you. Shoulder blades are moving towards each other. Tuck your navel in and lengthen to the crown of your head. Look up and breathe in. That's good now. Very good. You have managed to roll your hips in front this time. And get your palms in line with your solar plexus. We're going to move into a spinal twist. You breathe in. Upper left arm on the outside of your right knee or right thigh. Right shoulder moves behind to come in line with your left shoulder. Look at the corner of your right elbow and in that direction up towards the ceiling. And breathe. Breathe into that spinal twist happening on your thoracic spine, stimulating your second and third centers of energy. And get your palms in line with your foot in front. Curl up the toes of your left foot. Raise your left knee off the floor. Left foot in line with the right foot. Breathe out. Drop your head. Push it towards your knees. Once again, Uttanasana. Breathe in. Hands go up to the sky. Side of your body stretch. Incline your spine if you want to. Come back into the Tadasana. Breathe out. Feel your heartbeat. We'll move into our balancing asana for today, okay? So we'll do the Garuda. I think we did it last time too, right? The eagle position. Did we? Okay. If we've done it last time, we'll do it again just to get used to it. So come into the Tadasana.
You want to stand tall, push your tailbone out, tuck your navel in, and you want to keep this core nice and strong throughout the asana, okay? Now cross your left leg over your right. And get the tippy toes of that left foot on the floor. Now since your left leg is crossing over your right, with your hands, your left hand is going to go under, right hand over. Intertwine your hands together and get your elbows to become parallel to the floor. So you want to feel that stretch on your upper back, okay? So let your elbows become parallel to the floor. And now keeping the core very nice and strong, bend your knees. And if your core is really nice and strong, you can get that left foot off the floor if you like. Now stay focused on a point and your breathing and make this a meditation in action. Great, then slowly come back, breathe up. Now similarly, we'll balance ourselves on the left leg. So right leg crosses your left, tippy toes of that right foot on the floor. Now, since your right leg is crossing over, your right hand is going to go under, left hand over. Intertwine your hands together, get your elbows to become parallel to the floor. Feel that stretch on your upper back. Now keeping the core really nice and tight and strong, bend your knees. And you can get that right foot off the floor if you like. And breathe. Stay focused on the point and your breathing and carry the asana through. That's great. Then slowly come back. Breathe up. Come back into the Tadasana and push your tailbone out. Get your palms on either side of your 2 feet. One step at a time, walk behind, come into this Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So your feet are your hip width apart, not too far apart, not too close to each other, just your hip width apart. And don't imagine you have very big hips, you don't, so don't keep them too far apart. And your palms can be your mat width apart. Spread your fingers as wide as you can. Glue your palms thoroughly to the mat. Tips of your fingers, the mounds behind your fingers in contact with the earth, especially the mound that's behind your index finger. You want to make sure that's in contact with the earth. Drop your head and extend your tailbone to the back wall. So what you just did is giving this very therapeutic traction to your spine, all the way from your neck to your tailbone. And to help this traction happen in a straight line, you want to tilt your pelvis up towards the sky. So do the biting action with your legs. Bend your left knee, bend your right knee, left knee, right knee, left knee, right knee. Slowly come back a little bit up. Now it's okay if your knees are bent. It's okay if your heels are not going all the way down towards the hip closer. Very important, you're engaging your thighs, you're engaging your quads and tilting the pelvis up towards the sky. Move your feet a little bit in front, come get them here. And get them a little bit closer. That's it. So your thighs are tight and strong. Now tuck your navel in, keep your core very nice and strong. And then focus on your chest. Expand your chest, expand your heart to the grace that's around you so your shoulder blades are moving towards each other. Now do a yes, yes and a no, no with your head to keep the back of your neck soft, which in turn will keep the back of your heart soft. And the energy from your heart flows all the way down to the tips of your fingers. Now besides giving this great traction to your spine, this asana is also heightening the blood circulation around the main glands in your body. Around your pancreas, your liver, your spleen, your kidneys, your thyroids, parathyroids, your pineal gland. Keep that awareness with you and that much more beneficial this asana becomes for you. Great, breathe. Then slowly drop your knees to the floor, come into the cat position. Palms directly under your shoulders, knees directly under your hips. Round up your back, contract your belly muscles, drop your head so your navel moves up towards your spine, chin moves towards your chest. slowly come up into the cow position, plant your toes, shoulders move away from you, look up, breathe in, go down in the cat, breathe out, cow, breathe in, cat, breathe out, last time, cow, breathe in, cat, breathe out. Now keep your back rounded, raise your left knee, get it close to your nose to come into the crouching cat. Now move the knee behind and up to come into the tiger, breathe in. When you're breathing out, come back into the crouching cat. Once again, breathe in, tiger, breathe out, crouching cat. Last time, breathe in, tiger, breathe out, crouching cat. Slowly come back, raise your right knee, get it close to your nose, move the knee behind and up to come into the tiger, breathe in. When you're breathing out, crouching cat. Once again, breathe in, tiger, breathe out, crouching cat. Last time, breathe in, tiger, breathe out, crouching cat. Now slowly come back with your palms directly under your shoulders, your knees directly under your hips. Come with a flat back, okay, straight back. Now breathe in, release your right hand, move it inside of your left hand. Rest your right shoulder onto the mat, your head onto the mat. Left hand can stay on the mat or goes behind your back. Now move your left shoulder as far behind as you can by looking up at the ceiling and breathe. So you want to give yourself a very intense twist on your thoracic spine to stimulate not only your second and third centers of energy, but even your fourth one at your heart when you move that left shoulder behind and look up at the ceiling, okay? Breathe. Then slowly come back, breathe out. Palms are directly under your shoulders, knees are directly under your hips. Flat back. Release your left hand, move it inside of your right hand. Rest your left shoulder onto the mat, your head onto the mat. Right hand can stay on the mat or goes behind your back. Move your right shoulder as far behind as you can by looking up at the ceiling and breathe. Breathe into that spinal twist happening on your thoracic spine, stimulating your second, third, and even your fourth centers of energy if you give yourself an intense twist by moving that shoulder behind, right shoulder behind. Breathe. Then slowly come up and get your palms directly under your shoulders, your knees directly under your hips. Curl up your toes. Breathe in. When you're exhaling, slowly raise your knees off the floor, push your hips behind to come back into this Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So your feet are your hip width apart, not too far apart, not too close to each other, just your hip width apart. Your palms can be your mat width apart. Spread your fingers as wide as you can, glue your palms thoroughly to the mat. Tips of your fingers, mounds behind your fingers in contact with the earth. Drop your head and then extend your tailbone to the back wall. Engage your thighs, engage your quads. So your thighs are really nice, tight and strong. Now make your core tight and strong by tucking your navel in. And focus on your chest. Expand your chest, expand your heart to the grace that's around you. Shoulder blades are moving towards each other. Now we are going to move into a sequence that's very good for the hormonal balance. Okay, the upward dog, downward dog sequence. Slowly move your shoulders in front and stretch your chest in front, coming to the upward dog. The weight of your body is on your palms and your toes. You can rest your knees on the floor if you like. Go down into the downward dog. Breathe out. When you're breathing out, drop your head, extend your tailbone to the back wall, engage your thighs. Upward dog. Breathe in. Downward dog. Breathe out. 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 Upward dog. Breathe in. Downward dog. Breathe out.
Last time, give it your best shot. Upward dog, breathe in, shoulders move away from here, look up. Downward dog, breathe out. When you're breathing out, drop your head, extend your tailbone to the back wall, engage your thighs. Drop your knees to the floor, cat position. Untuck your toes, move your tailbone towards your heels. Now let your big toes touch each other. Open up your legs a little bit wider so that your rib cage gets accepted in between your knees. Let the center of your forehead touch the floor. This way you have a greater capacity of lengthening your spine, and there's always more relaxation when you lengthen your spine. Don't tuck your navel in this time. Let your belly be very, very soft in between your thighs. Let your body just melt into the earth. Let your body just collapse into the earth. You want to move your thighs apart. Let your big toes touch each other and more. Open up your legs. Open up your thighs. Yes, more. Open them. Yeah. Now let your rib cage get accepted in between your knees. Slowly sit up and come into this Vajrasana with your hips resting on your heels. And if this is too uncomfortable, okay, you can even be in the Sukhasana, the cross-leg position, that's fine too. So we are moving into the Brahma Mudra to work on the cervical spine. And throughout the Brahma Mudra, you want to make sure your shoulder girdle stays parallel to the front edge of the mat, okay? So even when you twist around on your neck, don't change the position of the shoulder girdle. You can even be in the Sukhasana, that's fine, whichever way you're comfortable. Now breathe in, twist to your right, get your chin in line with your shoulder. Come back, breathe in, twist to your left. Come back, twist to your right. Come back, twist to your left. Come back, twist to your right. Come back, twist to your left. Come back, look up. Come back, look down, chin on your chest. Come back, look up. Come back, look down, chin on your chest. Come back, tilt to your right. Come back, tilt to your left. Come back, tilt to your right. Come back, tilt to your left. Come back. And we're going to do the head roll, okay? So look up, breathe in, get your chin against one shoulder. When you're exhaling, roll your head in front of you. Come up against your other shoulder. Look up, breathe in. Once again, roll your head in front of you. Chin on your chest. Come up against your other shoulder. Now do this a couple of times more. Great. Now slowly come back to the center, and now we're going to move into the Virasana, the hero's position, okay? So move your heels apart and let your hips go in between your heels. And you can have a block if you like, or a folded blanket under your sitting bones if you want, to get your, to make your pelvis higher than your thighs, okay? So that there's no lower back, there's no, you're not going to feel any pressure on your knees. Now spine straight, shoulders relaxed, the Virasana, which means the brave one too, is the hero's position. It means the brave one. And what I infer from it, since it's a meditative position, what I infer from it is that to be brave, you need to be able to meditate, okay? So take a few breaths, focus on your breath.
and meditate. Then cap your knees with your palms. Raise your hips and touch your head to the floor. Take a few breaths here. Then slowly come up. And we're going to move into the Supita Virasana, the reclining Virasana, okay? So if you've done this asana before, you're used to it, then you can go with both your legs folded into this reclining Virasana, okay? But if you haven't done it before, then I would recommend that you go with your one leg folded, one leg stretched out, okay? So if you have any knee problems, you've had any surgery or anything on your hip or on your knee, you want to take this asana slowly, okay? So you can stretch out one leg, keep the other one folded, and go down with the support of your elbows. Very important. You go down on the support of your elbows for this asana, and when you come up also, you always come up with the support of your elbows, okay? So that way you won't injure your lower back in any way. Now, you can stay in this position by dropping your head behind and doing this asana, or if you want, you can move your elbows further down and let your shoulder blades touch the floor and raise your hands and rest them above your head, provided the knee of your folded leg stays on the mat. If it is coming off the mat, then you're better off taking the support of your elbows and dropping your head behind, okay? So go with whatever you are comfortable, at whatever level you want to take this asana, you can go with that, okay? Yeah, so keep the knee out. See, you want to keep the heel out, not underneath. Yeah, keep it out. Very good. Let your sitting bones touch. Yes, now go down. Go on your elbows, yes. Drop your head behind. So the beauty of this asana is that this asana you can do immediately after a meal also, okay? In yoga, the asanas that you do, you have to wait for at least 1.5 to 2 hours after a meal to do asanas. But this particular asana you can do immediately after a meal simply because it heightens the blood circulation in your stomach area, okay? So if you've overeaten and you're feeling heartburn, so it helps you relieve the symptoms. It gives you some relief. So that's why this asana is fine to even do after a meal. So if you've done with one leg, switch positions, okay? Stretch out one leg and fold the other one, okay? And again, go down on the support of your elbows. Drop your head behind. If you think you want to move your elbows further down, okay? And then let your shoulder blades touch the floor, you can do that, provided the knee of your folded leg stays on the floor, okay? And you can raise your hands and rest them above your head and breathe. So you'll notice in this asana, this is like a mini back bend. Your lower back is not in contact with the earth, okay? You're curving the spine here. So drop your head behind if you're big on the support of your elbows. Move your elbows further down and drop your head behind. When you come up with the support of your elbows, okay? Very important. Now you notice that this was a mini back bend. Now we're going to try another mini back bend today, okay? Which is the fish position. So what you want to do is you can take the fish position with your legs stretched out, okay? Or with your legs folded in the Sukhasana, okay? Or if you want to make it even more intense and you want to feel that stretch even on your hips, then you can be in the Padmasana and go into it, okay? So go with whichever level you're comfortable. Either you want to be in the Sukhasana, you want to otherwise go with your legs stretched out, okay? So once again for this asana, you want to go down slowly with the support of your elbows, but this time the corner of your elbows are going to sink into your mat, okay? And where you will place the corner of your elbows will be determined by this, when you place your palms. The palms are on the joint between your pelvis and your thighs, okay? So depending on that, you want to place the corner of your elbows. You want to push them a little bit further down, yes. And this time the crown of your shoulder blades are not going to touch the floor. The crown of your head touches the floor. Okay?
So this asana is great for relieving anxiety because it gives this great expansion to your chest, to your heart. And it's a back bend, okay? A mini back bend. Can you feel that? Because your lower back is not in contact with it. Stay in that. And also you're getting that free facial on your chin. Can you feel that stretch on your chin? Let the crown of your head touch the floor and you get the free facial on your chin. So place your palms on top, on the joint between your, place the palms on top here. So you want to place your palms on top, and what will determine is the leg. So you move your elbows a little bit further down, right? And then you will take your shoulder blades off the floor and the crown of your head will touch. Okay, that's why you're expanding your chest, and that's why you're getting this free facial. So touch the crown of your head. And take your shoulder blades off the floor. Use the corner of your elbows well to raise your shoulder blades off. Very good. So this is another very therapeutic back bend. That's great. Now slowly release the asana. Let the back of your head touch the floor. Okay, and rest your spine on the floor, and now you're going to move into a full back bend, into the bridge position. So bend your knees, place your ankles directly under your knees, or if you have a tight lower back, or you have lower back problems or lower back surgery or something, then you don't want to place your ankles directly under your knees. You want to place them a little bit further down towards me, okay? Now place your elbows close to your torso, bend your elbows, point your fingers up towards the sky, okay? Now push down on your elbows and let the lower back curve develop in your body. Don't raise your hips off the floor now. Just let the lower back curve develop. That's tilting your pelvis in the right direction for this asana. Now breathe in, push down on your elbows and your feet and raise your hips off the floor. Now place your palms flat on the mat or interlace your fingers together under your hips, provided your palms stay on the mat, and tuck your shoulders in. Use your shoulders well to leverage your hips. Now raise your hips as high as you can. Now focus on your chest. Raise your chest up towards the sky, and you'll notice that when you do that, your chest comes close towards your chin. Now take a few breaths here in the Setubandhasana, which is great for the spine, great for relieving anxiety because it expands your chest, expands your heart to the grace that's around you. And it can also be used for trimming the butt, okay? So you take a few breaths here, and then in the next stage of this asana, we'll use it to trim the butt. Breathe. Now breathe in, slowly raise your left leg up. Now raise your hips as high as you can. Tighten your butt muscles and try to keep both your thighs at the same level and breathe. Then slowly come back. Now raise your right leg up. Keep both your thighs at the same level. Tighten your butt muscles. Raise your hips as high as you can and breathe. Then slowly come back. Breathe up. Then open up your fingers. Rest your hips back onto the floor. Now draw your knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. Give your lower back a good massage by keeping it in contact with the earth. Okay, so this is the counter position of what you just did. You can even roll up and down to get the spinal fluid flowing again. And slowly come back, and now we move into a relaxation asana, dead body position, Shavasana. Let go of all the muscles of your body. Don't try to be in control, just let go. Let your shoulder blades sink into the floor. Let your palms face the ceiling.
This asana is about letting go. So let go of your jaw, relax your jaw. Your jaw is about your ego. Relax your jaw, let go of your ego, and let go of all the unpleasant emotions and frustrations that you experienced last week and before that until now. Breathe them all out when you're breathing out in the Shavasana. When you breathe in breaths of gratitude. Glad that you're alive on this beautiful day. Feel the heaviness of all your muscles. Feel the heaviness of your whole body. Experience how it sinks into the earth. Feel the energy flowing out from the tips of your fingers and tips of your toes. Flow along with this energy of the universe of which you're a part. Let go and flow along. Raise your hands, rest them above your head. Give yourself a good stretch. Turn on your side. Come into the womb position, Garbha Triptasana. Feel the security of your mother's womb. This asana is about reclaiming your innocence. It reminds you of that stage in your life before you got trapped in Maya. That is, before you got trapped in the material world, or before you had a self-image or ego. This asana reminds you of that blissful, joyful state in your life. Then slowly find your way back into the Sukhasana. Spread your butt cheeks, make sure sitting bones are in contact with the earth and your pelvis is higher than your thighs, spine straight, shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Then relax your chest and your upper back. Close your eyes. Focus on your breath, pure breath, which is the connection between your body and your mind. let your breath become predominant in your field of awareness. When you breathe in with joy and strength. When you breathe out, surrender to gain wisdom and peace. Stay focused on your breath. Now we'll all say the word Om 3 times together, very meaningfully, so that the vibes are good for the body, mind and spirit. So you want to round your lips for the syllable O. Start at the bottom of your spine, where's your first center of energy. Let the O rise and connect to your heart center, which is your fourth center of energy. Let the Ma syllable fall in to connect it to your mind, to your brain, which is your sixth center of energy. Take a deep breath in. Namaste. The light in me greets the light in you. Thank you for coming.